Welcome back to the breakdown. I am DELACREMEDELA, your privileged host, and this is the breakdown show. So what I decided to do today, I'm not going to go over a whole bunch of house rules because we're not going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff. It should be easy to stay on topic and be respectful because we're only looking at this right here, I think this is all we're going to look at for now. I wanted to take a look at the most recent docket entry for the case of United States of America versus Keith Douglas Freedom. Freeman. You think God feels bad when he destroys somebody? So this is the most recent docket entry. I have given you everything that I could so far from this docket. There is one piece of information that has been sealed, and that is the bail agreement. So I'm not able to reveal that information to you. But from what I can see here, there's a lot going on. So I think this is going to be the only thing we watch today or take a look at today, but I might have us look at something else. I said I was going to allow more to develop in this story before I reported on it a little bit more, and through this document, more has reported. I wanted to put this document up on the community tab and just let you guys take a look at it, but then I was like, there's a lot of colors and a lot of words here, so let me give people an opportunity to understand what's here. For any of us who don't always read this shit, okay? So you see the case number here. Now, I want to give you a little insight. So you see, let's start with the Honorable John F. Ness at the top right corner, right under the case number. Yesterday, this judge requested that the case be reassigned to Janice W. Pentung, and please forgive me, ma'am, for not saying your name correctly, because I know I'm not. I haven't heard it. I've only read it, so please forgive me. But the thing that I find very interesting is it was mentioned in the request that reasons would be cited, but I never saw any reasons cited. Now, here's something very interesting. You know, just like when you board a flight at the last minute and they be like, why'd you just not buy your ticket? I want to know why it was changed over, because it's a very interesting combination of events that Judge Janice was also the prosecutor in R. Kelly's case. She prosecuted R. Kelly and then became a magistrate judge. So that's a very interesting thing. Now, this docket entry was made today right after the court hearing. The minute entry is a last minute entry. So this is the docket information that goes along with the initial appearance and arraignment that was held today. I'm going to read it for you, and then we'll kind of break it down a little bit. And I do honestly think we're going to look at something else, but I want to just be sure we need to. So it says, minute entry before the Honorable Janice W. Pentung, which I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. Initial appearance and arraignment held 4/24/24. 4/24/24. 4/24/24. 4/24/24. If you know what I know, you know what all them twos and all them fours mean. You know, it's interesting. Last night I was able, never mind, I'll keep that to myself for later. Thank you. Defendant appeared in court and was represented by counsel. That little bitty attorney who's not so sure. The government advised defendant of the charges pending against him in the indictment. I could only imagine. Like, have you ever talked to somebody who's so committed to a lie that they don't understand why you don't believe them? So they advised him of his rights. He acknowledged receipt of the indictment. And I'm at this purple underline. He waived a formal reading and entered a plea of not guilty, as I said he would. Hashtag DeLa was right. Y'all know I got a little bet going with Shay over at the late night crew, the real late night crew. I honestly don't believe that Shay is Keith is going to tell anything. I don't believe he's going to plead guilty. I don't believe he's going to confess to anything. I don't believe he's going to share any information. I believe that he believes it's as bad as it's going to get. And if they're going to get him, they're going to get him anyway. And by him sharing a whole bunch of information about a whole lot of other people, they're not really going to make his charges any worse. Because what he has against him right now, from what his purview is this. And I did do some research. There aren't any other associated cases, but that's just for now. So to continue, I want to just break this down a little bit according to all these little colors that you see. This is how I got through school with all these other colors. So I want to break it down so we can understand what all these colors means and how this document has been dissected. So the purple lines are leading to the information about the not guilty plea. So he waived the formal reading and entered a plea of not guilty to the indictment, and the government and defendant agreed to certain terms of release. So now this document is taking a little bit of a different turn. Hold on a second. Let me elevate this a little bit. So now this document is taking a very interesting sort of turn. So on one hand, we have the defendant pleading not guilty, which is his right? That's his right. And then on the other hand, we have that he's agreed to certain conditions of release, which means he has come to some sort of agreement with the United States government. Let's continue. Now, enter order setting conditions of release. Okay. What are those conditions of release? Well, in order to be released, you have to be detained. So they must have let him know that this was his own. These were his options to go home to his children that he doesn't want, and his wife who's way too intelligent for him. His wife, who everybody told when she wanted a better man that she was being stuck up, superficial, shallow, because she wanted a man with a certain kind of education and a certain kind of professional background. And everybody was like, you ain't never gonna have no man if you keep your standards so high. And now look at her. Now look at her, risking having to raise her children by herself like the rest of us have to do anyway. Because at least we were smart enough to see that it wasn't nothing there and deal with the shame that society put on us for being single mothers instead of being with a man who wasn't worth our weight. Poor girl. I mean, I've done my research on her. I can't find anything wrong with her except that she is spiritually delusional. She has ideas about the God she serves that just have no foundation whatsoever in anything. She believes that the success to her business was God, not those no-bid contracts, not her husband having all those shell businesses that were possibly billing the village and the Thorton Township. Not her husband making $200,000 a year, but she's still driving a Kia. Okay, so anyway, let's continue. The biggest victims here are the children because they got some beautiful kids. So those, we still want to know about those conditions of release. I am excited to find out what those are. And then let's continue with the rest of this purple line. Defendant is ordered to be released after processing. This is the purple line right in the middle of the page with the green thing popping up. Now, the reason I put that green line there is because if he is ordered to be released after processing, for any of us who've ever been arrested, we know what processing means. Fingerprints, mug shots, right? Processing don't mean you go from the courthouse to the car. No, this was an arraignment. This man had to turn himself into the police and go through the process of being arrested. There is a mug shot somewhere, and I'm working with a few different devices all at one time. So let me see if I can find it. Maybe they sealed that mugshot, which wouldn't be fair. It really wouldn't, right? What are we looking for? I'm going to see if I can find you guys a mugshot. If I can, I will. If I can, I will. Try to do as much as I can without having to do too much. I am nursing an old football injury. I'm just playing. Old car accident injury that I exacerbated again on Sunday when I did that fucking balls to the wall ass quick hike. I love a quick hike. I like a long hike too. But when I do a long hike, I go slow. I do a lot of climbing. You know, it's a lot of crackers and liquor involved. But this was a quick hike, and my body felt it. I'm going to have to start slowing down. I don't see anything yet as far as a mugshot, but I will do my best to get you one. Who would he have been arrested by? This court was Northern Illinois Eastern Division. Let's see. I wonder if they've updated that yet, because they've been updating the docket. They update their docket pretty quickly. I've seen courts that take a couple days to update their docket. But when you are dealing with this many things, and he was the only criminal case of the day for this judge. The rest of them were civil cases. That's why I think it was interesting that she was assigned this case, because all the other cases she did today were civil cases. Stuff that had already been taken care of. Fucking settlement conferences and shit. I wonder... I'm going to do some work and see if I can find out federal law enforcement. Federal law enforcement. Ooh. Did I find it? I think that's Chicago. So let me continue while I'm seeing if I could find... Would have been, what? The case number is case number 124CR00191. And all that lying talking about this is just a bankruptcy case. Nigga, this is a whole criminal case number. 1CR. It can't get more criminal than CR. Bitch. So anyway, I'll keep seeing what I can do to find a mugshot. Fortunately, we are connected in so many ways, so I'll be able to get that information to you guys. So anyway, let's continue. So we know there's a mugshot on the way because he was processed, okay? Hold on, man. I just want to get some information on what that process looks like. Processed before release in Illinois. So AI says, what is, oh. Yep, fingerprints, photographs, background checks. So he was arrested. He did the whole Donald Trump thing. He had to go in and actually get arrested, turn himself in. And after the process of that situation, then he was released. Now, far as I know, he was released because I don't have any information that indicates that he's still being held. But there is a discovery conference. You see the blue lines. They're pointing to the date of this Rule 16-1A conference. That Rule 16-1A conference is a discovery conference. where they lay out the evidence against him. Now let's go jump down to the yellow section before we read that orange section. The yellow section talks about the requirements for evidence. And for both sides, the favorable evidence under Brady need only have some weight and include both exculpatory and impeaching evidence. So it's interesting to me that that was noted here. So I want to go to that orange line. It says status hearing before the assigned district judge is set for 6/5/2024 at 10:30 a.m. Now, I do have another bet on this date as well with Shay at the Late Night Crew. We bet a $2 bill that I bet that he will not double down, that he will double down on his not guilty plea. I bet that he will double down on his not guilty plea because I have known liars and they will hold on to that motherfucking lie no matter what evidence is shown to them. Now, the dates of these things are interesting because the discovery conference is May 16th. And then he's got another 314 meeting with the bankruptcy court on May 15th. But on May 13th is when a representative of the village is expected to testify before the grand jury about the two pieces of penises. And then Tiffany Heynard has her first court date with the Andrew Holmes case in June. I want to say that's June 13th. And then Keith Freeman has this next status hearing on June 5th. And I want to know which one of these is going to be 25-0. Because it's a whole lot of court going on. I don't have not one court hearing this summer. Not even for myself as a plaintiff. We are in we are in the process of wrapping up a case. And there's another one pending. And I'm so excited about both of those. Things are going really well. I love our court system. I really do. When I lived overseas, I had to file a couple lawsuits to make sure things happened the way they were supposed to. One thing I love is the court system when it comes to this type of stuff and things being done the right way. I don't fight. I don't argue. I just hit that bitch with a lawsuit. Do you hear me? I learned that. So anyway, I wanted to share these things with you guys from this particular document. I think I am going to share with you another piece of information. Give me 1 second. Let me get to it. Where were we? Hold on 1 second. Let me find it so you don't sit here and watch me look for it. Give me a second. Where did I see that? Here it is. Okay. I think this is going to be the full story, but I'm not sure. Either way, we're going to look at it together. Give me 1 second. Let me just pull it up. Let me just pull it up.
Bankruptcy charge and a lawsuit moving forward today against the man who is the top aide to embattled Dolton Mayor Tiffany Heynard.
And WGN's Jenna Barnes has the latest from federal court.
Well, Dolton Mayor Tiffany...
And allow me to mention this, Jenna Barnes. I appreciate you. At the Dirksen Federal Building. Whew, Lord Jesus, that's a scary place. Allow me to mention that this video is being used according to fair use, according to the Copyright Act of 1976, which gives allowance for fair use in cases such as, news, education, scholarship, and research, and critique. So we're going to use it in that instance today. Please don't come for me. Thank you.
Heynard's top aide, Keith Freeman, pleaded not guilty to federal bankruptcy charges today, as he is also named in another lawsuit against the village and its embattled mayor. Senior Administrator for Dolton and Thorton Township, Keith Freeman, pleading not guilty to bankruptcy fraud. His attorney speaking with reporters after the arraignment.
I think that many practitioners in this building would be surprised to see this level of attention and press paid to a bankruptcy indictment.
Freeman is a top aide to Dolton Mayor and Thorton Township Supervisor Tiffany Heynard. He's accused of hiding his Dolton income in bankruptcy proceedings, underreporting his income by $95,000 last year.
We've had a couple of questions directed to me about whether or not this indictment means that the government is effectively trying to squeeze Mr. Freeman into cooperation. And I think that question is a question better put to the government. And the record will show overall that Mr. Freeman for many, many years has been a trusted public steward.
Freeman's appearance in federal court comes just a day after he was sued alongside Mayor Heynard by a Dolton property owner who says he was unjustly denied a business license.
When Keith Freeman told me that he's going to give me all the permits and put me in a position where I start working on my property, about time when I met with him again, he told me, "Who are you? And do I know you?"
Tyrone Isom tried to open a barber shop and then a pigmentation studio in this space, but he says the building inspector told him Heynard blocked the project.
She said initially Tiffany Heynard did not want nobody to get these properties because she wanted the land. So that was right there in a nutshell.
It is a mess down there, and you have a mayor who believes that, you know, she owns every piece of property in that town and can control everything that happens in that town.
Heynard's spokesperson hasn't responded to our request for comment on the lawsuit, but last month, Heynard once again complained that she is the victim of critics intent on tearing down the first black female mayor of Dolton.
Basically fighting against the devil. The evil spirits. I'm the good spirit, they the evil spirit, because I never seen nobody try to tear down people this much.
Last Friday, the FBI visited Dolton Village Hall to serve 2 subpoenas, one for employment records for a dozen employees, the other specifically focused on Keith Freeman.
We're ready to defend with everything we have, anything that comes Mr. Freeman's way.
Freeman's attorney says he has no plans to step down from his jobs in both Dolton and Thornton Township. He's due back in court June 5th. Outside the Dirksen Federal Building, Jenna Barnes, WGN News.
So I want to kind of cover that story a little bit, and there may be another one that we look at too to kind of get a little bit more clarity. I want to share my notes real quick because y'all, I'll tell you one thing. That attorney is probably not the best person for this situation. He don't even sound like he believe his client. So I didn't realize that he was also named in that Tyrone Isom lawsuit. I read that lawsuit today. It's Tiffany Heynard, Kim Alston, Carmen Carlisle, Keith Freeman, Village of Dolton. Now, Carmen Carlisle, I told you. It wasn't 48 hours ago, bitch, that I told you. You need to get out of that house you're renting from Tiffany. You need to stop being her assistant, and you need to stop being a Thornton Township trustee. Carmen Carlisle. Just by the strength of your name, I believe you can get good work somewhere and not have to live under her thumb the way that you do. You vote for anything Tiffany Heynard puts up because she got you by the balls, don't she? Your kids are sucking her long-ass mole-covered titties, aren't they? But I do believe you can reinvent yourself. And I do believe that you can come from up out of this, but you're going to have to tell the truth. I don't think you're going to do it, though. Same with you, Kim. But you an old dirty rat, Kim. You go way back in some hood booger shit. So you used to keeping your mouth shut when this kind of stuff happened. You ain't seen nothing. You ain't saying nothing, huh, Kim? This is buffoonery. Isn't that what you said? Now, the lawyer is a gaslighting motherfucker. That motherfucker said, this is the government trying to squeeze him into cooperation. Duh. Is that, he's saying that like they're not supposed to. Like he's willing to sit down and have tea with them without being charged for bankruptcy fraud. Crazy, right? He said, people are asking us if the government is trying to squeeze him. That's a better question for the government. Well, I guess it is, but you could answer it too. Of course the government is trying to squeeze you. You're not admitting guilt to say they are, but by admitting that they are, you're admitting there's a reason why they should. You said a little attorney. Where you at? Let me see your face. Not that one. This one.
To the government, and the record will show overall that.
Come back, little ugly. This nigga said that this motherfucker right here, which I want to get to that shot where we saw him standing there looking stupid. Keith is too big for a full shot, a full body shot. We need him in small pieces of person.
Bankruptcy charge.
Not guilty. Speaking ship supervisor.
That the government is effectively trying to squeeze Mr. Freeman into cooperation. And I think that question is a question better put to the government. And the record will show overall that Mr. Freeman for many, many years has been a trusted public steward. And
Freeman's appearance in federal
that nigga said that this nigga right here, who I'm gonna see if we can get that shot.
Just a day after he was sued alongside Mayor Heynard.
He walking away like a loser, isn't he? Yes, he is.
By a Dolton property owner who says he was unjustly denied a business license.
When Keith Freeman told me,
sorry, Tyrone, I'm gonna skip
property in
through
that town.
Mayor of Dolton.
Basically fighting against the devil, the evil spirit.
There we go. That's the shot I want. I want to see this face right here. Hold on, y'all. This ugly nigga right here who is not symmetrical. It's like two pieces of sperm ran to the pussy at the same time. What is this dog barking? It's that time of day, huh? That little ugly ass attorney who didn't even shave today. He got up this morning at $5,000 an hour and didn't even shave. Because I get it. We want Keith to look a little disheveled. We want him to look a little tired. You know, we want to put him in a suit that matches the attorney so we give off the same image. You know, that classic trustworthy blue with the dotted tie. I get it. You know, Keith Freeman went and cut his beard a little bit and shaved, and he's not so dyed at the top. But you could have done something this morning. You just be like that. That's the way you are. You know you don't eat your wife's pussy. It ain't no way a man love his wife like that, right, and he keep his mouth like that. It ain't no way that man is going home loving his wife properly and his mouth look like that. He is cutting that bitch up from the rooter to the tutor. Poor girl. Poor girl. Poor girl. She getting cut from her coochie to her asshole trying to keep up with this mouth. Anyway. This little ugly nigga done told us that this big ugly nigga is a trusted public steward. That's what he said. He said for years. Now, I'm sure there's a little village over there called Robbins who filed a claim or put a claim out against him for $94,000 because he overpaid himself, i.e. he stole some money. What you don't want to do is have me pull up Keith's criminal record because I have it. Okay? It's just so much. I mean, this nigga been doing crime since I was a child. And I'm about the same age as him. I'm only 2 years younger than him. He been doing crime since I was a child. I mean, to go back and look at his court, hold on. To go back and look at this man's criminal record, and we're not talking about space in between. This man got a felony. It's a driving felony. Stupid something shit that probably should have never happened. That was just 2005, right? False report to law enforcement authorities, 2000. Out-of-state refugee from justice, 2011. Charges offenses 725/12-3 in 1998. Now, when I looked at that, that was the same codification, or if I'm using the right word, for Tiffany Heynard's offense. 725/12-3. When I open up the details of that case, it's a misdemeanor, Class A, stricken off, leave reinstated with no fine. And I believe that was a theft charge. Kentucky, arrested. What year was that in Kentucky? Give me that. I don't have the year on that one. So where do we see, I'm trying to understand like the trusted public steward. If we go and we look at his finances, of course we see the current bankruptcy. We also see another bankruptcy in 2014. We see a judgment for $5,174.18, 2017. I see a UCC filing from the Small Business Administration, the SBA. I think there was a loan that Keith Freeman took out 2020 that, let me see if I can expand that. Because I'm trying to find this trusted public steward. I don't see a trusted public steward in here. I mean, I wouldn't give him my checkbook. And then we see another, oh no, that's the same judgment. Of course, he's got some evictions. Because you have those when you have this other shit. Forcible detainer, May 2004. Forcible detainer, October 2003. Interesting. So I'm trying to find this stand-up guy who should be trusted with a whole village's checkbook. When Tyrone Isom approached him to continue working on his project, Keith Freeman said the same thing to him. He said to Tammy Brown, "I don't know you, lady." That's what he said. Let me see if he still owns this car. Poor guy. How you stealing all this money driving base model cars? That doesn't make any sense to me. You stealing all this money driving base model cars and you got your wife driving a Kia Optima. That doesn't even make sense to me. Like a 2012, unless that's just you guys' driveway car, which I completely understand. It's a good car for a driveway car. Do you still own this car? I hope you listed this in your assets. I know it's probably not worth a whole lot compared to the money you've stolen, but you should at least list it in your assets. Anyway, let me see if I got some more notes for his ass. Yes, I do. So this man was Tyrone Isom, which I have read the lawsuit. I am pretty clear on it. I understand it pretty well. Tiffany Heynard wanted the land that his business was set to be on. But she also wants this block by block where properties can go back onto the tax roll and then be sold by the village. But she's not allowing businesses to keep their land so that they end up losing their land like what she's trying to do to Dr. Scott, but she won't be able to do because Dr. Scott is a real educated person. Okay, that doctor means she studied something through to the point where I believe her degree might be a philosophical degree. So she's actually flushed it out, unless it is a doctorate, which means it is well-researched and practiced. Either way, we can't even prove you got a bachelor's from Robert Morris. So I'm pretty sure just on the strength of intellect, Dr. Scott is going to run circles around you when it comes to this situation with her land and her property and what's hers. But Tyrone Isom, I believe that's his name, he wanted a piece of, he wanted to do a great work for Dolton, and Nino wouldn't let it happen. Now, in that same news story, it said Heynard spokesperson didn't reply. Well, isn't Heynard spokesperson Freeman? Isn't Heynard's spokesperson Keith Freeman? Isn't he the one we always see replying about the disgruntled employees? Let me see if this other video gives us a little bit more information too. Give me 1 second. There is a particular soundbite I would love to be able to get from the attorney, but I may not have been able to isolate the correct story to get it. I might need to wait for more to come out, because I was watching the Real Late Night Crew. Shout outs to Shay and the Real Late Night Crew. You guys are amazing. What you guys do, what we do over there is the bomb. I'm just really honored to be welcomed in that group of awesomeness, because the Real Late Night Crew has the unsuspecting charm of being very casual, very laid back, very cool, but quite informative, quite intellectual, quite research based. Okay, a piece of information came up in the chat today, and the host of the show, Shay, researched that piece of information until he was able to verify it. And I really appreciate that. I really respect that. But he was able to show a video where the lawyer for this numbnut right here was asked if there would be other charges. And he was like, I don't know, shit. But this is a lawyer who the research has been done to demonstrate that he specializes in RICO. Like, all his clients are frauds. He specializes in getting people better sentences, not getting them off. That's what I'm definitely telling you that. That's the research that was seen. What's this nigga's name? I'm gonna have to do some more research on this nigga. Hold on 1 second. Where are we at? We are looking at his name. Oh my God, Keith Freeman. I know he's somewhere shitting. I hope he smoked weed. Because man, if he don't, I know his anxiety is on 10. And I would just like to say for the record, in this shot, Keith Freeman looks guilty as fuck. His hands in his pockets. The suit that wasn't tailored. Is there a tailor in the South? So I know it's some badass tailors in Chicago, because my daddy hit me to him, okay? When my daddy died, we didn't have to pick out a suit. He already had a suit picked out for himself. He had 7 closets. That was a Chicago nigga to his heart. And he knew the good tailors and the haberdasheries. But can we get a tailor to make a trip over to the south suburb? Because apparently we need a tailor in the south suburb. That's it. Don't take it personal. Somebody got mad at me because I've said that a few times. If it wasn't true, I wouldn't say it. We need a tailor in the south suburb. Will a real tailor please stand up and do some alterations, please? These big ass arms. How long you had this suit, Keith? This look like that damn shake and go suit Andrew Holmes had on. Is it too big on purpose? I mean, the cut is out of style. It's a single breast. I mean, or is that a double? That's a single, right? Who wears a single-breasted suit to a business meeting? Look at the difference between the cut of his suit and his attorney. Yeah, they got on the same color, but it's definitely not the same suit. You see them arms? That's what a tailored suit looks like. That's what a fucking tailored suit looks like, not this sloppy shit right here. This sloppy shit right here. Keith wasn't raised by nobody who knew how to dress. I could tell. You see this suit? Do you see the cut on this suit at the lapel? What the fuck is this? Oh, he did that shit on purpose. Oh my God, baby Della has awoken. Did you hear? I didn't even know she was laying right here. She's laying on the sofa and I'm in the living room. I thought she was in her room. Listen, I just realized that he was doing what Bob Whitfield did to Sheree when he went to court and started talking all slow. And he had on that them jeans that was too big and that shirt that was halfway tucked in, knowing he was worth about $30 million. Okay, I get it. I get it. I don't ever have to go to court for stuff like this. I'm always the plaintiff. So, like, this shit is new to me. But now I do remember when Phaedra, as a matter of fact, got mad at Sheree because she decided to go to court suing her ex-husband for some sort of support. And she took a $35,000 Hermes bag with her into court. If that's not the dumbest shit, it's all about perception. But anyway, y'all, this is crazy. I will definitely keep up on this story for you, bring you what I can. And for now, that's all I got. Ain't got no more. I holla. This crazy shit. This nigga really thought he wasn't gonna get caught, though. You lied about where you work, and you are on camera at work all the time. Stupid shit.